Wow, you can tell already just how plain and simple this episode is gonna be. Hey, what is up you guys, and welcome back into another DuckTales video. This shouldn't take too long at all. This episode was more of a casual one, but not too disappointing. I mean, according to certain fans of the DuckTales classics, and even older, there was one big thing to appreciate. And what else would I be referring to but Donald and the Three Caballeros? Or should I just say the Three Caballeros, because Donald is one of the three, so... Okay, never mind, now I just feel stupid. Now, I in particular quite honestly have no idea who these characters were until about a few months ago when at Comic-Con people began to spread the news of the new future characters. But dang are these people old. No wonder why I haven't heard of this group before this year. We're talking about 1944, people. Anyways, Dewey, Webby, Louie, and the rest make their way into a little town located in Brazil, which ended up being filled with broken NPCs.
Have a great day. Thank you. Of course. Have a great day.
But yeah, the townspeople were actually fake, fleshed out citizens made up by the Drosera flower. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. It was so that the flower would feast on the people of whoever would visit the village every year as told in the prophecy. And by the way, I can confirm that Webby did indeed read the entire statue correctly. I even went as far as to simply translate every word from Portuguese to English. And I totally can see why Webby at first believed the entire darn thing to be an uplifting tale rather than a gruesome warning. Especially when towards the end when it says that now the city bears this triumph every year. A lot of people would take this out of context and immediately believe that it's merely nothing more than an annual celebration. One more thing that gets me thinking is just how exactly the flower knew to use these particular faces as fake attenders. Perhaps it was the flower creating them itself based on previous visitors, or maybe the flower devours anyone that unfortunately comes across it during that time and uses the victim's body as a decoy for future traps. Kinda like what we saw in this episode. Okay, that was a mouthful. Now let's talk about these characters known as the Caballeros. When we first meet them, it's revealed that it's been years since Donald last reunited with them, and that they've all been having much better lives than Donald, when in reality they're just as poor as anyone else. Donald fakes being the new head of McDuck Enterprises to impress them, but hey. As it turns out, it was just one of those episodes and shows where they all fake being something that they're not in order to impress their friends and, in the end, apologize to each other. And I just love how after surviving a murderous plant, lying to each other, and realizing just how horrible of a singer Donald is, they still were considering bringing back the band. But there's no need to fret because Scrooge flat out takes one of their guitars and annihilates it by doing that famous stomping maneuver his family does. And yeah, that just about does it for this episode. Also, there was this one joke about how back in the day Donald was juggling the boys when they were eggs and how he dropped one while doing the trick. And apparently it reveals the fact of why Dewey's a bit off sometimes. I find that interesting. Anyways, that just about does it for this episode. This was once again The Next Big Thing, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace!